You're probably watching this video because you keep losing money. Maybe you've blown through your first account already by now. Maybe you're on your second or third account telling yourself this time it'll be different. Maybe you tried every strategy you found on YouTube, you've bought courses, you followed signals, and you're still not profitable. But here's the brutal truth. You're failing for the same reason 95% of the other traders are failing. And it has absolutely nothing to do with your strategy or your broker or the market being rigged. So you wanna know why you keep on losing? Why you can't follow the same exact setup as a profitable trader and still lose money? Or why you can't seem to stay consistent no matter how hard you try? It's because you're ignoring the one thing that actually determines whether you make money or lose money in the markets. And I'm about to show you exactly what it is, because once you understand this, everything will finally click. You're trading without understanding yourself. Most traders think trading's all about the markets, and it's not. Trading's really all about you. Let me break down exactly why you keep on losing. Chapter 1. You don't know your psychological triggers. This is the foundation that most traders completely skip. Your psychological triggers are the emotional reactions that cause you to deviate from your trading plan. If you don't identify and understand these triggers, you'll keep making the same mistakes over and over. When a trade first went against me, bro, that shit made me feel crazy, because like I thought I was supposed to just hit a button and it was supposed to just go off in my direction. Every single time I would lose money in the market, or I would go in profit and it would go against me, bro, it made me want to revenge trade. Every single time I took a loss in the markets, it made me want to revenge trade even more. For me, it was sometimes even trading during Asian session with GJ that would cause me to want to kind of over leverage my account when there was no momentum in Asian session. We all know trading GJ in Asian session is a hit or miss. Chapter 2, you ignore your emotional patterns. Every trader has an emotional pattern that repeats themselves. The profitable traders identify the patterns and build systems that manage them. The losing traders pretend like they don't exist and wonder why they keep on losing trades. I'm not gonna lie, for me, when I'm stressed or when I'm angry, bro, I trade completely different than when I go into the market with a level head. Days that I'm angry or days that I'm really feeling myself after like a huge win streak and I over leverage my account to kind of try to take it to the next level is them days that I would lose on. For me, I would get tired of like losing money over and over and over to like the same way. So when I actually apply my trading plan to my strategy, it made me stick to all my rules. In all honesty, it helped me accountable. I ain't gonna lie, like, and me just being able to identify like when I would have a big day, for example, like a couple weeks ago, I was slaying the market. I was happy as shit. You feel me? My energy was all the way up. So being able to identify that was good. But bro, when I took a loss, man, don't talk to me. Don't ask me for shit. Don't ask me to borrow a penny. No, nothing. I had a losing streak. I don't want to hear that. I'm trying to get back. And it's like me, whenever I wake up in the morning and I trade, my very first goal is to take something from the market. Forget how I feel. I don't care if I feel sad, angry, whatever the case may be. That's not gonna stop me from going in the market and executing. So you gotta understand. Chapter 3, you don't have a system built around your personality. This is huge for me. You can't force yourself into someone else's trading style and expect to be successful. Your trading system needs to match your personality, your schedule, your risk tolerance, your natural thinking patterns. All these things matter. I don't care if I see 50 million people killing it on Instagram when it comes to trading. I don't care if my bro called me and told me he's killing it trading. Well, I do care, but my whole thing is I'm not letting other people's actions drive me with my trading process. At the end of the day, I salute you, but just like how you doing it, I gotta get the bag too. So it's like, for me, I like to be naturally patient with my results. If you're patient, it's gonna come to you. And it's like, for me, like when I first started, I used to like to scalp. I used to like to hold my trade for a couple minutes. And then as I evolved into like being a better day trader, like I loved holding my trade for hours. When it comes to days, sometimes I'm still working on my swing trading capabilities, but you got to ask yourself, like, which one are you? I'm a day trader at the end of the day, so I know who I am. And it's like, for me, I'm really good at analyzing price action. This game is all about analyzing price action. At the end of the day, like being a reactionist to what price is doing is going to be key, but you got to be able to kind of analyze the markets. So you got to ask yourself, like, what are you better at? Me, price action is king. Price action is going to always tell you, but you got to kind of know where you are as well. And it's like, for me, when I'm sitting down and I'm looking at the charts all day, all night, or whatever the case may be, I'm being patient and I'm waiting for a setup, but I'm also going down to the lower time frames and I'm using time frame correlation to correlate it to the higher time frame. I don't care how long it takes. At the end of the day, having that patience to wait for that setup is what's gonna truly be key. Like when I take a trade, let's just say I go for my entry, systematically, I always have like a 13 or 15 pip stop loss. But at times when I'm manually trading and I'm manually in the game, I have a mental stop loss. I'm not so quick to hit that button and set a stop loss. So like for me, I need some type of flexibility when I'm in the market, but I'm disciplined enough to be able to kind of react to the rules that I kind of set for myself. For example, if the move's coming against me and I know I have a 15 mental pip stop loss set and it breaks past that point, I'm not gonna risk anymore. I'm not gonna idjit to keep on going a little bit more and more. Fuck that. It basically hit it. I'm closing out. I like taking wins when I trade, right? But like, obviously the little wins add to the big wins, but you got to look at it like this. Like me, I'm a person that trades every day that I see something. If, for example, I call a move or whatever and it goes 30 pips in profit and it starts to go against me, I'm closing out. I'm taking that W because the next setup I got that's coming, that 30 pips that I just took is cushion for the next move because obviously it didn't work. So you just got to kind of make yourself comfortable with your process. Chapter 4, you're focused on being right instead of being profitable. This is the ego trap right here. I swear to God, it kills more trading accounts than anything else. Trading is not about being right. It's about making money. These are two completely different things that most traders can't separate them. Like for me, this week, I held a little bit of my losers because we were in consolidation. So I already knew we were in consolidation, but we're in consolidation shifting to a downtrend. So it's just like my winning trades, I let the winners win. Sometimes I have a TP set at 60 pips and if it blows past it, it blows past it. Certain days I'm shooting straight for a target, but you gotta kind of have an understanding that the same way how you treat your wins is the same way you gotta treat your losses at the end of the day. If you have a tight stop loss, you have a tight stop loss. If you have a quick TP, you have a quick TP. But you gotta treat them the same. Me, I've never been the type of person to cut my trades early because I'm scared of giving back to the market. At the end of the day, I let the markets play out. My predetermined risk is my predetermined risk at the end of the day. Now, for example, if I take a setup and I know I'm counter trend trading and it's shifting to the trend, I'm gonna cut that bitch short and hop in the right trend anyways. You feel me? For me, every trade is life or death. I don't care. You feel me? Because you never know when that next setup is gonna be that's gonna make you or break you. So you gotta be 10 toes at all time. You got to be locked in. You got to be wired in on what's going on. You got to be flipping through time frames. You got to be understanding everything that's going on. So every trade does matter. The moment you slip up is the moment your account going. Like in my beginning stages, I used to get angry when, you know what I'm saying, when a trade would hit my stop loss, but I ain't gonna hold you. Nowadays, let's say if I set a stop loss and the move would go off in the right direction, I knew I was right. So I would let that add to my confidence because I was right. The entry was probably fucked up at the end of the day and I need to take that extra mile to see that. So I used to get mad like when my trades would hit stop loss and then go off in my favor. I began to use those as confirmations and that was the biggest thing for me. Another thing like this is just like when you try to risk more money to prove that your trade is right to yourself, that's not what's gonna make the trade right. You taking the same consistent setup over and over and over and over and over is what's gonna make it right. You sticking to your strategy, your edge in the market. So it's just like you only tack on risk more when you know that the setup is that setup. You dig what I'm saying? Or you scale into your setups. But outside of that, you shouldn't have to prove yourself that the trade is right. You should know if a trade is already going to be right based on seeing the confirmations and the things that you need to take the setup correctly. Me personally, I like taking trades based off of probabilities over time because it's like this. We all share the same 24 hours. GJ is a pair that's always moving. You can get the buys and the sells depending on, you know what I'm saying, where you are. And, you know, GJ is a pair that breathes a lot. GJ will breathe 56 in a counter trend. GJ will breathe 60 pips in the trending market. So you gotta kind of be able to identify the probabilities and when they're setting up. Let me give you a real example of why this matters. I had a student, right, who came to me after losing 50K across multiple accounts. This guy knew every chart pattern, every indicator, every strategy you could friggin' imagine. But every time he took a loss, he would immediately jump right back in the markets trying to make it back. Classic revenge trading, right? He didn't have a strategy problem. He had a psychological problem. And when we worked together, we discovered his biggest trigger was feeling the losing of control. Every loss made him feel like he was failing, so he would immediately try to regain control by taking another trade. Once we identified this pattern, we built a specific system around it, a mandatory 15-minute cooldown after every loss, a predetermined position size that could change based on his emotions, so we had different lot sizes that he would use for different situations based on how he felt. And a trading journal, he had to write down his every emotional state before trading, rules that prevented him from trading when he was feeling desperate or angry, and his results were this. He became profitable within 60 days. And I'm talking about consistently profitable. Here's what actually separates profitable traders from losers. Self-awareness. They know exactly how they react in different market situations. Emotional control. They built systems to manage their psychology and not actually fight it. Personal systems. They trade in a way that works with their personality. Probability thinking. Consistency. They follow their rules, especially when they don't feel like it. The markets don't care about your feelings, but your psychology determines every single decision you make. And if you ignore it, you'll keep making the same mistake over and over again, no matter how good your strategy is. So, no, trading success isn't about ignoring the psychology components and just focusing on the charts and strategies. In fact, I'm more convinced more than ever that understanding yourself as a trader is the foundation of everything. And that's why my 30-day guarantee focuses on upgrading and enhancing your trading skills and your psychology, because you can't have one without the other. So if you found this video useful and you're tired of being a part of that 95% of losing money, then I may have something for you. Click the first link in the description and learn more about my 30-day guarantee program, where I help traders understand their strengths and their weaknesses and build a solid system that they can use in any market. So you can finally achieve a consistent profitability that you've been dreaming of, like my first student who's now making like 1.2 mil per month. So if this sounds good for you, click the first link in the description and let's get you profitable. It's your boy Jeezy Banks and I'm out. I'll see you on the next one.